All right, we're here at the Iowa State Fair 2024 Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network, right now being joined by the 2024 NCBA President, Mark Eisele. Thanks so much for taking a few minutes to join with us today.
Pleasure to be here.
And of course, we talk about the cattle industry, and of course we're leading off, and I know it's why you're here, is for the Governor's Charity Steer Show coming up tomorrow, and it's a big deal. And tell us how you got to be a part of it this year.
Well, one of our members of our board asked me about it, and I found out what the charity was, and I says, I absolutely have to be here personally because we all know somebody who's been affected with or been helped by Ronald McDonald House, and I said, what a great charity, what great exposure for the cattle industry.
I know this is the 42nd annual event. It's been going on, for over 4 decades, and a lot of money raised. We cleared the $5 million mark total last year, so definitely a big deal, and it's done a lot of work here for those 3 houses in the state of Iowa.
It's great that you have some continuity with your governors. In an ag state, this is something agriculture should do. We're good at it, and we're glad to get that word out to the public.
And we were talking with the Iowa Beef Council yesterday, kind of previewing it, and they said it's a great extension of that whole Cattlemen Cares mantra that everybody's been doing nationwide to talk about how the producers give back to the communities and help those around them in their state.
Absolutely. And this is what we need to do, is tell our story and contribute like we do, but most folks don't know about it.
And of course, telling your story goes beyond these events. I mean, obviously being on the NCBA, there are things that are affecting cattle producers, whether it's Iowa, whether it's Texas, or across the whole country. What kind of things are you guys really trying to drive home, especially this time of year as we're getting close to an election, the things that we need to be thinking about?
Well, elections matter, votes count, they matter, but we've got several topics. Probably my top 3 are, first of all, the estate tax, the death tax. We've got to make sure that we have something in place before end of 2025. Probably the fact that we need to get the Farm Bill across the finish line, because the Farm Bill is so critical to ag production. The largest part of that Farm Bill actually goes to supplemental nutrition services, not to the farmers, but so what we get is critical. And maybe the third is lab cultured protein. We want to make sure that consumers get the right labels, they understand what they're buying, they need to be informed. The beef industry has a responsibility to do that.
And it's interesting, from the producer standpoint, whether it's been pork, beef, poultry, whatever, when we've been talking about labeling, it's never been about not allowing the consumer to buy what they want. It's about making sure they understand that what you're buying is not what you may be getting produced on the farm, where it's something different than what you may think it is.
Oh, absolutely. If you don't label things properly, consumers can't be trustworthy of what they're getting. We have to make sure that trust is there. We can't betray that trust. We need to make them well informed and give them what they ask for. That's why beef has been so successful. Its pricing, its versatility, and of course is a value product.
And of course, the markets have been riding pretty decent for cattle producers. Obviously cost of input and all that does take away a little bit, but you have to admit though, riding that high as long as you can, because sometimes the other boot will drop.
That's absolutely true, but that's why we have things that bring us real value, like the beef checkoff, where it brings added value to our consumers. We educate, we promote, we do research, we do all the things that make our products so valuable to consumers, restaurants, grocery stores, whatever.
And of course, when we think about the cattle industry, we think of the places like Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, even Nebraska. Sometimes we don't always think about Iowa, but Iowa can't be overlooked for its cattle production and its work in the industry.
Oh, Iowa's a major player. The feed stuff's out of the Midwest. This is amazing. I know people that send calves to my part of the world out in Wyoming and back and forth because this is where the feed is at. You guys make huge contributions across the board regardless of the sector. Absolutely, this is where the action is.
All right, well, we look forward to seeing you at the Iowa Governor's Charity Steer Show tomorrow and seeing all that and being a part of that great event.
It's a privilege and honor for me to be here. I'm going to do my best tomorrow.
All right, this is NCBA President Mark Eisele here on the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network.